Welcome to the Thriving Misfits podcast, the podcast where we celebrate resilience, embrace diversity, and challenge norms. And I am your host, Fyiona Yong, and today we have Charissa Tan with us. And there is actually, it's not so unusual that we're in athleisure wear today because Carissa is a fitness, I want to say mogul. She is establishing her fitness brand, her fitness studio all around Penang, and she will share with us her unconventional journey of her career path from social entrepreneurship, then into corporate life, and now being a fitness entrepreneur. We're also going to be talking a lot more about how body image here in Asia plays a huge role. And this is also tying back to the overarching theme that we have for the season 3, which is Asian Leadership Reimagined. So welcome, Carissa.
Thank you. Good to be here in your lovely house.
My makeshift studio. So it's wonderful to have Carissa here today. It's actually the second time that I'm doing a podcast episode recording in person. So I'm truly excited once again. So Carissa, the podcast is called The Thriving Misfits. So how do you identify yourself as a misfit? Does it resonate with you at all?
You know, when I hear the word misfit, I think of cartoon characters, but I think we're not here to talk about that. So misfit for me feels like just someone who is standing out, and maybe the world might be judging them, but they are just different from the rest. I think I used to go to a primary school where I was told to never stand out. It was like you have to wear the same things, at least appearance-wise. You never get to put nail polish or have long hair. Everyone was forced to look the same. And I think we are taught to just fit in, and that is the good way to go. So all my life, when I started standing out, being the only Asian, being the only girl in sports, I felt very weirded out. And I felt like, am I doing the wrong thing? Am I supposed to be here? But then eventually I realized that standing out is actually a good opportunity and a good thing if you use it to your advantage. So I started embracing it. And I think standing out is actually really good if you know what you're doing and you're not just standing out for the sake of standing out.
Yes.
Yeah. So misfits, I think it's a commonly a judged word, I would say, if you don't go around saying I'm a misfit, but I think it has its value.
Yeah. And I like what you said. It's not about being a misfit or standing out for the sake of standing out. I think it's about embracing the uniqueness. And I think every one of us at one point in our lives will feel that we're an outsider, that we don't really feel that sense of belonging, but it's really to embrace that misfitness in ourselves and seeing that as a unique advantage, but not for the sake of actually being different, right? And that's I think, is a really important message. So your childhood, how did it look like?
Like I said, I grew up in a very conventional Chinese high school, Chinese girls primary school in Penang. So everything was like very like similar to a group of like, I don't know, 1,000 girls all looking the same haircut, same everything. So I think that shaped a big part of my growing up years. And then I went to an international high school, which all my teachers were American. It's still in Penang, but it was a complete culture shock for me. There were not as many Asians, and a lot of them were American, and the American culture also like seeped into the way they taught, and they encouraged us to stand out and like, you know, ask questions and think critically and all, which was very unusual for me. Then after that, I moved to New Zealand for about 7 years. I was there. I was doing various courses and doing various work experiences and stuff, which I really thoroughly enjoyed. Then after that, I moved back to Penang purely because I wanted to spend some time with my parents. Got stuck here during the lockdown and then have never left since then, and really enjoying my time in Penang for the last like 7 years, 8 years maybe.
Yeah, wonderful. I mean, what brought you to New Zealand? Why New Zealand of all countries?
So I really love just the image of New Zealand that has been portrayed as like just this beautiful Green Gables kind of land that looks like a postcard everywhere. And truly it is. It is as beautiful as they say it is. And my sister is still living there. She moved there permanently, and I wanted to just explore it as a place to go to. Ended up really falling in love with it and falling in love with myself in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the person that I became in this wilderness type land, truly connecting with the land and digging my feet into the soil, embracing the mountains. Like I truly embraced that and loved it. And so that's why I stayed on for so long, I think.
Right. And what did you do there? So you studied there, and did you work there as well?
So I took initially I took a cert in Bible school, so Christian theology cert. And that's how I actually first went there for 6 months only. Ended up making so many friends, loving the place, and then staying on for a degree. And then after the degree, stayed on for a graduate cert and a graduate diploma and then my master's.
You just love studying.
I just found every reason possible to like stay there as long as I could before I finally moved back.
Or you just love studying.
That too, considering like half the time I wasn't studying, but I did enjoy being there. I did enjoy being a student. I feel like being a student allowed lots of time to do all these different things. So I just went all out. I just explored every possible avenue, like every opportunity, working in university, making the friends, going out of my own culture circles. Yeah, exploring everything.
Because you said you only studied half of the time. What did you do with the other half?
Like everything else. Had lots of fun. Too much fun, actually. Yeah, way too much fun. I connected with a lot of different people. And I was a residential assistant. So what we do as a dorm, they call us police.
Okay.
We go there and we confiscate alcohol. Oh. Yeah, so people are really scared of us. But we also hold parties. It's a bit of a toxic relationship. We hold parties for them, but then we...
Non-alcoholic parties.
No, alcoholic parties. And we drive them to bars and pubs. But then after that, we would confiscate the alcohol when it's too much. So it's just in the middle.
Okay. Well, you're keeping the balance. So I think that's healthy. Are you also like a designated driver for them?
Yeah. So I have no idea how many people have puked in my vans, but okay. It was a very interesting time. Yes.
Any other unique jobs that you've done?
Yes, I was also a student ambassador from a university, which means that I would have to travel around New Zealand and give talks about the university and tell people to come over and study and how good it is. And then I was also the board of directors for the student union. So we had to run campaigns and stuff like that and then make decisions for the university, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't think I made that much of a difference, but it was fun while it lasted. And I think that it was a real experience just trying out and just putting myself out there. Very intimidating and terrifying to have your face all around campus, but it was a good experience.
Fantastic. I mean, that's also part of leadership, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
And that shapes you to who you are today, because community is something that's really close to your heart. So tell us a little bit more about what community means to you.
I think especially now, community is exceptionally important for people. Not to say that last time it wasn't, but after the lockdown, people really missed people. So we really crave the belonging in a community and the acceptance, and also just having other people around us to encourage and support us. I think that is super important, and we felt the absence of it during the lockdown. So fresh out of lockdown, everyone was like just buzzing together to try to create communities. As you can see now, there are so many run clubs and different things happening. And I think that as humans, we crave community. And it's important to build things around community if you want it to last.
Absolutely. I remember I built a community in Hong Kong before COVID. I was still in corporate. So as you know, I was in corporate for 14 years myself. And then at the same time, I was also doing a side hustle. And I noticed that in my circle of friends, whenever I asked them, they actually also did something like a passion project on the side. But most of them, in Hong Kong, they work in the finance industry. They're not really allowed to talk about it. And their bosses may think that they don't really have focus on their real job because they're doing the side hustle. So I created this side hustle community. We were not too big. I think about 20 active members. For me, it's more about being active instead of just, being idle in the group and not really contributing or joining the events. So every month we would meet up, and then we have one particular side hustler who will then share his or her story about the vision of the side hustle, the purpose, how they came about it, and just kind of helping each other to also not only the inspiration part, but also how can we get things started? Because there were side hustlers who were already very well established, and it can be for profit or non-for-profit. And then there were people in the group who are thinking about doing something, but they're a little bit afraid that, how could they even get started? So I love that little community, but then I left. No, actually, I didn't leave. The pandemic hit us, and then of course we couldn't meet up again. And I think there was just so much going on in like our lives that we don't even have the headspace to focus on that. So, but I know you built your community here in Penang. You're a passionate jump roper. How do you call yourself?
Freestyle jump roper, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, so it started off during the lockdown. I had went into the lockdown feeling like, oh, okay, great, we get to spend like a week at home or whatever, and then we get to have the time to do whatever creativity thing that we want to do when we don't have the time if we're working outside. And then 1 week turned to like 1 month turned to 1 year, and then before you knew it, it was just so much time that been gone, and a lot of time was wasted. And I remember one day I was just like so fed up with everything. I was like, oh, I'm spending a whole entire lockdown at home. It could be the perfect time for me to like explore different passions or different like skills, and yet I'm just like sitting at home wasting my life. So I was like scrolling, I was like thinking all this while doom scrolling, totally ironic. But then I scrolled upon this video of this girl, and she was doing some real cool tricks and jumping with a jump rope that I've never seen before. And for me personally, like I hate jump roping, like without a doubt, hate it so much. I have no idea what Instagram algorithm fed it to me, but it did, and it changed my life because I was like, oh dang, that's so cool, I want to be like her. And then I don't know why this passion just kicked in. I guess because lockdown, you have too much free time, you just want to do everything and nothing at all. So then I just like started trying to become like this girl over the course of lockdown. I told myself that before we get let out, I want to become like better than her.
Wow. That's a great ambition.
So I practiced like every day, like day and night. Like I became obsessed. Like I woke up thinking of jump rope. I went to sleep and I dreamt of jump rope. I practiced like 4 hours a day. It was ridiculous. It was pretty insane. Don't be like me.
How are your knees?
They were fine.
Okay.
Initially, they were like a little bit stiff, but I think like if you do something every day, your muscles kind of adapt, especially if you're doing it in the right form.
Sure.
Put that out there. But yeah, it was fine. Still fine.
I mean, this discipline, this willpower that you have, or this, having these audacious goals, is that kind of a thread in your life? Have you always been that way?
Yeah, I think so. Like when I get really determined to doing something, I will just like chase it with everything I've got. It also helped that we had a community, going back to community, that jump rope created with people all around the world. So a lot of people were starting to jump at that time during the pandemic because all you need is a rope, right? And so they would like connect with people around the world. So people from Germany, people from America, China, or anywhere else, they would really like come together and like just share some skills and teach each other and learn together. We would even have like calls, or we would even like just encourage each other by leaving comments or whatever. So it became this online community, international community, which you wouldn't get otherwise. And it was super cool because everyone's progressing together. We were cheering each other on, like, oh, this person just unlocked this new skill. Did you see that? Like, oh, this person is still struggling. Let's help them out. Super cool. Then like coming out of it, I was like, oh, it'd be cool if we have a physical community as well. So I think this community thing really fueled me to really pursue it, because now then, like, I'm showing my friends how good we can get. And then from there, I'm starting to teach local people how to jump. So this constantly just fueled me to do better, even though I was feeling like, is this going to end? Is this passion going to end? But it never really did, all the way until 2 years ago. But yeah, it stayed for a very long time.
Right.
Yeah, because of community.
And the thing is that now you are running a fitness empire.
I wouldn't call it empire. But
how did it come about? Is it through the jump roping, or did you always have that desire or passion for fitness?
I always loved sports. So anything that would get me like working with a team and doing something competitive, I think it was really, really fun for me. But never to say like weightlifting or fitness or going to the gym regularly. That was not my thing at all. Jump rope was another sport, I would say, because we do random stunt with it. So I would consider it as a sport, and it was fun for me. But leading out of it, I think what really transitioned me into teaching fitness or teaching weightlifting per se is my current husband. We just got married a few months ago.
Your current husband.
My current husband. Sorry, it's still so weird for me to say husband. I'm like, boyfriend, but husband. So my husband, yeah. So he was the one who was interested in fitness since he was a kid. And then one day he decided that, I really want to, during lockdown, I really want to become a PT one day. But he is a dentist because his parents wanted him to become a dentist, and it's typical Asian trajectory. So he was always battling with being a dentist versus doing something he really loved, which was coaching people or like just being in the fitness scene. Yeah. And so I was like, let's take a cert together. Me not working out a day in my life, right? I'm like, let's go do a personal training certificate. I don't know, because I love studying, right? So we took this course together. And then when I took this course, I was like, I really like this. Like, learning about my body, like my body can move, and it's important for us to move. And why don't more people know about this? So gradually I started like loving it so much that I was just like, all right, you can go back to dentistry. Let me take this field. So I ended up doing PT, and then that was my transition into fitness. Very, very slowly, organically, I started training more and more friends. Then from there, I decided, okay, I'm going to open a space. And I think women particularly, they need a space like this for themselves without any other boundaries or distractions around. And so that's when I thought to build a women's only space. And then that led me to many other opportunities. So it all kind of happened very organically. Things just happen after the other. So
but there's probably still a North Star that you have in mind.
Yeah, for sure. I think fitness really changes lives. Like I've seen so many people walk into the gym being one person, like so dejected. Usually when they ask for a personal trainer, right, they're at the space where they feel like nothing has worked. So they're like, I give up. I need help. That's when they come in. So you see them at the lowest point, the most dejected self, where they tried everything. And then from there, we piece things back together. We're like, okay, let's start with like just a simple workout. Like anyone can do this. And then you start rebuilding their physical health. And with that, the mental health, the emotional health, the social health. And so I've seen people just transform over the 1 or 2 years just by being consistent in the gym and with the trainer, because there's someone holding you accountable to being healthier and better version of yourself. So I think that really fueled me, seeing the transformation. And for me, it's better to connect with other women, because we can relate better, I guess. And then a lot of women start sharing with me things. It becomes like a counseling session, really. And like, I have seen women who like start breaking down in the middle of a set and crying, and then that goes the session, but it's still very meaningful. Because women would come to me with all these problems, like, my colleagues are body shaming me, or they would say certain things that would make me feel so angry. They would say things like, I can't walk into a lift with you. I'm so fat that like the lift would probably break down. I'm like, what are you talking about? What? Yeah. So like things that still just baffle my mind. Like, what are you talking about? But no matter how many times you tell them, you're beautiful, you're fine, you just find the way you are, nothing will click. So really you have to be there with them saying, you're fine, but let's work on something. Let's work on getting you out of this, you know? And then being a personal trainer really allowed me that opportunity to do that. And I think it's super amazing job and important for people to have that person in their life. So that's what fuels me.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, and that's our mutual friend, right? My PT helped me at postpartum. I mean, you said like a rock bottom in a way. Yeah. Cause I've always been an extremely fit person. Not always. When I was a teenager, super lazy. And then I got sucked into aerial arts. So I did circus and acrobatics. Yeah. Since 2011. And then I retired officially. When was it? When I broke my rib 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Yes. Doing hoop. So I lodged the hoop too close to my rib and it fractured. So But going back to the conversation around PT and how, personal trainers and how important they are in your lives, and yes, Jane actually supported me in my postpartum journey because, after giving birth, everything is just wider. You don't all of a sudden shrink down like what you see the celebrities shrinking down immediately after giving birth. And it was a journey, and it was really good to have someone to join you in that journey and to give you that emotional and mental support as well.
Yeah.
And especially for women, body image is still so important no matter how old you
is.
are.
Yeah.
And I think especially here in Asia, right? You've probably lived, you lived in New Zealand, but I think
Most of my life here.
all over the world, women are most judgmental about our bodies.
Yes.
How are you actually making a difference in that space to help women to just understanding that they're great, they're good enough, they don't need to be, a certain size?
I guess like having a women's only space allows for more conversations like this. There's not to say anything against men, but like just having a space with women only, it makes them feel more safe and more at ease or free to just wear whatever, show up with no makeup. Like, they just feel at ease. And then that is the stepping stone to us having these kind of conversations or painting a different image of women and talking about strength in a way that doesn't involve aesthetics necessarily. A lot of women, like especially in the older generation, the first thing that they will say when they see you is like, you're commenting on your body.
Yes.
You've slimmed down, you've not slimmed down.
Yeah.
And then I think there's a common desire in women to be very slim, maybe toned, but skinny, slim, toned, and no baba. You know what baba?
Yeah, no meat.
Yeah, and then even there's this recent Chinese drama on the side, like, Pursuit of Jade has become viral. It's everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. And this main character, she's so strong. She can lift up a dude and like various other things. She can lift up pigs. Yeah, so she's super strong, but she's so stick thin. She's skinny. So people kind of want that. They want to be strong, they want to be fit, but they also want to be super skinny, which sometimes doesn't add up, especially if you just don't have the genetics for it.
Yes.
You might starve yourself thin, and when you starve yourself, you might not have enough to grow muscle.
Yeah,
and have strength. So there's this very big tension or misperception of what strong can and should look like. And I think that is what we're trying to reframe with the people that we talk to, with the messaging that our gym is giving out. So we try our best not to do like transformation in terms of like aesthetics in our messaging. We try to be very intentional with how we use our words and our images to provide a safe space for women to feel like they can come whatever shape of body they want to come in, and we will accept them either way. We won't judge them, and we'll provide that space for them to work on themselves without saying that you shouldn't be like this.
Absolutely. I mean, it's also really not just about looking great, but feeling great, right?
Yeah.
Like working out to feel great instead of just looking great. That will come, I think, as part of the package to look great too.
So like before we start, I would ask them like, hey, why do you actually want this? Oh, I want to lose weight. Yep. But why do you want to lose weight? Oh, I just want to see myself slim up. But why do you want to see yourself slim up? So like we really dig down into it, like actually what's going on. Maybe like, do you have some issues at work? Like, and a lot of people actually do. They feel like their colleagues are body shaming them, or they feel put down by maybe their family members. And that's how it starts. And when you very clearly unpack that, then you can actually talk about, hey, is that important? Is that person really that important? Does that opinion need to shape your life? And hey, let's do this for you now. Let's do this for your health. Let's do this for your strength. Let's do this. As you age, you need muscle in order to survive. So let's do this for that. Yeah. So you kind of just handhold them and walk them through it, I guess.
Because you do also have like a course for senioritas. I
we
love that term.
We celebrate senioritas in our gym. We really encourage people over the age of 50 and beyond to start working out, even though it's a little bit of a, not say stigma, but like not many people would do that after the age of 50. But we really encourage it because after a certain age, after 30, actually, you have sarcopenia, which is muscle loss, like gradually. And so strength training or resistance or weightlifting actually helps to fight that. It's
Yeah.
the best anti-aging thing that you can do for yourself.
And there are so many different sports that we can try out. So
Yeah.
I've done, for me, I think what I challenge myself the most is try to pick the most unique sports to try. I've done
Such a misfit.
yes, but also not for the sake of it, because I know myself, once it gets too monotonous, and I must honestly say doing just weightlifting is too monotonous for me. So apart from the yoga, I've done aerial, acrobatics,
and bar now, right?
Bar. I love bar because it just combines both, right? The stretching aspect and then the dance movement, because I loved contemporary dance. I've done that last year. I've done capoeira, Thai boxing, kickboxing. And I think it's just about trying new things and see what actually sticks with you or what you're passionate about, but then also being okay that, maybe it's not the era for that anymore. And hence I retired from aerial because I have osteopenia. So very easy for me to fracture something. I mean, I just recently fractured my foot dropping a Dyson vacuum cleaner on it. So it was fractured. The recovery took about 4 months. And that was it's basically here.
Wow.
But it was, I think the most challenging part was, the ability, the compromised movement, right? That I couldn't actually move the way that I want to. I mean, let alone going to the gym. Of course, that was not on the table at all. But I had a PT, and here we go. Another friend of mine helped me to come to my place because I have a 3-year-old and he wasn't in school at that time. So she would come to my place once per week and we would do the workout that works for me. And like you said, when usually we seek for PTs when we hit rock bottom. And I mean, it's and I love that you ask your clients questions as well to try to really peel all the layers in the onion, because underlying might not only be stress at work or with the family, but there could also be something around, I don't know, body image, body dysmorphia.
And I guess it's a bit sensitive as well, because not everyone would respond well to these kind of questions. They might feel not ready yet to, expose certain parts of themselves. So it's a bit tricky. It's sensitive. So we have to kind of see and play by ear with a lot of people usually.
Now, you are an entrepreneur. You run a business. Tell us about that. I mean, is this the first time that you're running a business yourself?
I think I always had a little bit of entrepreneurial spirit to just try to do something or explore. I'm a very risk-taking person. So I'll just opportunity, let's go do it. And then think later. But I've been more calculated recently, of course. When you have a team relying on you, life becomes a bit different. So business to me is just exploring and having fun and just doing what I feel is right at that given time. And I think it shifted a lot from just coaching women. So now I do less coaching and more of the business element, which I think is good. Initially, it was quite hard to leave clients because clients, you have a bond with them, you work together for so long, and then you have to say, hey, I gotta focus on the business now. Graduate, buddy, go out and fly. And then they're
you don't need me anymore.
They're like, no, we need you. No, you don't need me. Just go out and work out by yourselves. It's good though. It's good that they need me. Just don't get me wrong. But just graduating them and focusing more on the business now, and then expanding to the new gym that opened 2 months ago, and then to focus my creativity on that side and the attention. So this business, the women's gym, I think it's at a place that I can be really proud of and just let be. I have an amazing team that is running the space now, and they just do everything on autopilot. They're really, really good. Take all sorts of initiatives and execution, everything. They do all of it. And I'm rarely needed in the gym. I just show up for team meetings, train a few of my favorite clients, and then I'm out, and they do the rest.
So do you enjoy the whole business aspect?
I love it. I love my life. I love my job. I'm so happy with everything now. I'm so blessed by everything in my life. I am grateful. So I love it.
Well, what's the best part of being a female entrepreneur or just an entrepreneur?
Just getting to do what you like every day, I think. When people tell me about, their corporate jobs, not to say all corporate jobs are bad, but like a lot of them feel very like
in a rat race, right?
Yeah, and they're like striving for something, but in the end they don't get to see the real result of that thing that they're really working towards. And for me, I get to see something from beginning to the end, and it's so rewarding. And I get to work with people, I get to see them transform. I think I have, to me, the best job.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. So for those listeners who feel like they are a misfit, maybe even struggling with body image, what is the key message that you want to share with them?
It's tough because everyone is different. I think aging to us is something that will happen regardless of whether we want to or not. Aging will happen, but how we age is something that's entirely decided by us and ourselves. So I think body image is important. Like, I think body image brings us up to have lots of opportunities and things that come along with how you present yourself, but it isn't everything. It isn't how you necessarily present yourself, but it's also who you are inside. So I think that is super important. And then also with the aging element, thinking about how you're going to live your life, how you're going to age gracefully. And I think strength comes in hand with that. So,
right. Emotional, mental, and physical
yes,
strength.
All the above.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Carissa.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here on the show and sharing your words of wisdom with us. For me, what really stood out is when you said that, let's embrace being a misfit, but not for the sake of being different, but really embracing our differences, that we're not an outsider. It can be an advantage as well. And I think your determination, your being so clear about your North Star and your passion is actually helping you to become the person who you are, and now also creating that amazing ripple effect to help other people and make a difference in their lives. So thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And for those of you, please make sure that you subscribe and follow us. It's the Thriving Misfits podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. And we're going to continue breaking the bamboo ceiling with one conversation at a time. Bye for now.